Good evening, everybody. Today is March 26, 2025. It is 5:18, 3 minutes late. This is the City of LaPorte Redevelopment Commission meeting. I'm calling it to order. If you'd all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. I myself, Brian Chalik, is present. Actually, we have a full complement. J.T. McDermott's here. Jenna Francisconi's here. Damon Gassaway is here. Betsy Parkinson is here. Everybody is present and accounted for. Our school coordinator is here, Mr. Jim Arnold. Actually, we had the mayor here, but he left. Public comment. Do we have any public comment? Don't see anybody. Public comment is closed. Minutes. February 26, 2025. Everybody get time to look at the minutes.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the February 26, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Claims. March 26, 2025 claim docket. Everybody have a chance to look at that. There's not much there.
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the March 26, 2025 claim docket.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm sorry, who made the last motion of the minutes?
JT and
made the
Damon.
motion, and who seconded?
Damon.
Damon, okay, sorry.
Where were we? Claims passed.
Yep, I got that.
Okay. Old business, we have none. New business, approval, Newport Landing Environmental Consulting Services with Jacob Hefner and Associates. Nick Minnick, our main man.
You should have a proposal from JHA. They've been helping us with a lot of the environmental work at Newport Landing and helping us coordinate with IDEM. We submitted a site status letter last year. From that, IDEM had some additional requests they were looking for sampling. This is for the former Dietrich property, the property that a portion of which is under an agreement with Full Tilt for that project. So in order to get to our site status letter, they wanted some more information. JHA did put together a proposal. The work is about $79,000 worth of work. We did budget for cleanup. Ideally, if sampling comes back the way we hope it does, then this would come out of that cleanup anyway, because we'd be able to reduce our cleanup costs with this additional data. Is the goal. So again, this was negotiated with IDEM to make sure that we were only doing what was necessary for them to be able to provide a site status letter, and JHA's ready to go. So.
For some reason, that didn't make it in your packets.
Right.
It didn't.
Do you mind, before you leave, if you bring us a copy to sign
Yeah.
before he's gone?
Yep.
So, okay.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval of Newport Landing Environmental Consulting Services with Jacob and Hefner Associates.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Not to exceed, so it's how
Not-
much again?
Is not to
Not to
exceed
exceed
79,000.
79,000.
Do it again.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion for approval of Newport Landing Environmental Consulting Services with Jacob and Hefner Associates, not to exceed 79,000.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Motion and second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. Thank you, Nick. Approval of the, wait a minute. Mr. Jackson, Jerry Jackson, sanitary sewer improvements for Newport Landing. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
You're slowing us down, Jerry. We're usually done by now.
Yeah, I ran out of the office fast today and didn't get
Thank you.
Just kidding.
correlated. The first drawing shows, or sketch shows, a proposed sewer main extension to the Grand Heritage Site. The site was created recently. It was part of a much larger parcel in Newport Landing. And when the sewer and water, well, I don't know about water, but when the sewer was designed, there wasn't a tap for that lot envisioned. It was part of maybe a big box, I'm not sure what was envisioned, but it was part of a much larger lot. So when Grand Heritage bought the site, then they suddenly realized, oh, we don't have a way to connect to sewer.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. The closest sewer is across the street, right in the Aldi's entrance, so they would have to cross North Madison to get there. But the 24-inch storm sewer that runs right down the middle of the road happens to be at the same elevation as the sanitary sewer, and it's 24 inches, so you can't bring that pipe across the road without running right into the storm sewer. So it's not feasible to cross the road. The next connection point is in front of the dental office to the south. So in order to go there, you're gonna cross a portion of the dental office lot, a portion of the RDC's property, the bigger parcel to be developed. That's on the second handout. You can kind of see where that's at. And then to the Grand Heritage Site. It's 60,000 rough estimate. We haven't got a quote. This has been coming up rather quickly. They want to break ground on the 1st of May. What I'd propose is I'd get quotes, bring them back to the board for their evaluation and potentially approval. We ask for quotes from local construction companies, potentially the ones that are doing the Grand Heritage Site, and save us some money because they'd already have mobilized. And bring those quotes back to the board at the next meeting for the board's evaluation.
Which will be the last Wednesday of the month, which would be the last month of April.
Is it? I think that works with Grand Heritage schedule, because they're not gonna need that till they're done, and if by chance we do get the same contractor doing their
Gonna be fine.
site work.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the timing's good.
So I guess the direction I need from the RDC is to solicit quotes and bring them back at the next meeting.
Motion?
Make a motion to solicit quotes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a motion for the Newport Landing sanitary sewer improvements to seek quotes.
Is that enough that we need on it?
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's in a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
We skip to the next one first, Truesdale. Next here.
Oh, yeah, okay. We're gonna bypass C for right now and go to D. Truesdale Avenue Landscaping, Mr. Phillips.
Okay, so, and Nick can help me with this as far as timing of things, but essentially, you're all aware that we rebuilt Truesdale Ave from Madison to the park entrance roughly. And as part of that contract, there was landscaping installed. There is some portion of the contract that has to do with the replacement of anything that dies and needs to be replaced, I think. It's the responsibility of the landscape installer to replace that if it happens. But there is ongoing maintenance of that area, lawns and other aspects of landscaping that need to be paid for this year, so that that landscaping gets properly established and we're maintaining that area along the roadway. That was not part of that original contract. And so there's a need for us to maintain that this year. It wasn't envisioned, I think, as part of the project. Nick can explain this a little bit better than I can, what's included, what's not, with regard to this landscape area. But what's not, anything that's not included, we need to be providing for the maintenance of throughout this calendar year, until the end of the growing season, essentially. And I'm working on getting quotes for what that would cost us as we speak. I have gotten a ballpark estimate of what that will cost, but that may change a little bit based on what Nick says. So maybe you can give some more background on this and kind of how we got to this point today.
Yeah, so I think the long-term goal has always been to have something similar to our business improvement district, where Newport Landing businesses pay for maintenance of the extra infrastructure there, so the landscaping and that sort of thing. We haven't gotten to that point yet, so we're still kind of on the hook for maintaining a lot of that. But then, so the new Truesdale Avenue median would be part of this, the center of the roundabout, and then the next median, and then after that, Park side and into the parks take care of all of that. Landscape on the Banks side, that should all be a part of their landscape. So we're looking really for the maintenance of the median areas is the biggest change.
Is there, in the center of the roundabout, there's a planter plot in there?
Yeah.
And then are there in the medians, are there planters?
Yeah, there are
guess I never
plantings in the
noticed.
medians, yeah.
Okay.
But unlike the other medians we have, they're not irrigated or,
Okay.
so the landscape's a little bit hardier. I think hopefully it's a little less maintenance overall as
Okay.
well.
But it's about, it's about keeping it clean and free of litter and, just mowing the lawn, the tree lawns adjacent to the roadway, and things like that from basically April through October. The initial estimates I've gotten for the cost of that are somewhere around $25,000 for the year. So I bring it to your attention. I haven't had a chance, I just received these estimates, so I haven't had a chance to go over them with Nick or go out there myself and take a look at them in detail. But I wanted to bring it to your attention, that's something that we need to address. Whether and how it happens going forward for next year's budget, we're going to have to talk about what we can and can't do with that. But I think for this year's budget, we can consider this establishment of the project. So it's probably an appropriate expense for the Redevelopment Commission to take on. But I think we need to discuss going forward, how the city or property owners, depending on what happens there, would be responsible for maintenance going forward on that. So
I got a question. We already pay for the rest of it.
I actually have in my budget the maintenance of
Same
that.
as you are, same.
Okay, so yes, the city currently has budgeted the maintenance of Newport Landing landscaping, which includes irrigation and landscape materials, et cetera,
Which is
part of Lakeshore landscaping.
we got a quote from them.
We have a quote from them. That's where I got that number from.
I would think it'd be a lot easier just to have them do the whole thing, don't you?
Yeah, probably would be. They're pretty familiar with the
Are you
territory.
getting several quotes?
I've gotten a couple quotes, yep. I'm getting a couple quotes.
Yeah, we have the maps in front of us. I mean, are you saying it's just these medium strip, the medium?
So what it is it's the grass on both sides of the road, for like a few stripes, a few swipes of mowing, from all the way from Madison to the park entrance, which is basically the back end of the Banks apartments, roughly. And the median strip between Madison and the roundabout, and then the total three approaches to the roundabout and the roundabout itself. So it's kind of like the roundabout, three approaches, the median, and the strips on the side of the road. We're not going to be responsible for the maintenance of the detention areas. I think we're asking stormwater to maintain those areas. But like I said, so far, the estimates I've gotten are right around that $25,000 mark.
Well, unless somebody else comes in lower than that 25,000.
Well, and I want to refine it and make sure it looks
Right.
proper. I haven't had a chance to even review it yet, so.
Is this just for information, or you want to vote?
Well, if you, because the growing season is upon us and the grass is gonna start growing, and April is the month that we start maintenance of these landscape areas anyway, I guess I would ask you, for an amount not to exceed 25,000 right now to be able to do that, and then I can kind of tweak that contract accordingly if I need to get below that number.
So we need a motion not to exceed 25,000.
Yeah, I would ask for that.
How many years do you think we're gonna be paying for that expense? before
Like I
we
said, the
have
hope,
to-
the hope is that it'll become part of the city's budget next year because it's maintenance. At that point, it's maintenance. It probably needs to be built into the Newport Landing contract, is the right way to go about that, I think. But right now, the Newport Landing contract is in my department budget, but I don't have even remotely enough to pay for this on top of that contract.
I feel like I'm missing something. I mean, 25,000 just to do that little bit you're saying, that just.
Over the course of weekly mowing
Like
and
6 months.
other maintenance for 6 months.
It's about 2,000 a month,
Yeah.
500 a week or so, which I think
Yeah.
is pretty reasonable, but.
And it's,
Seems high.
5 or 6 months. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll make a motion to approve the Truesdale Avenue landscaping not to exceed $25,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0.
that was JT and Jenna.
Right. Thanks, Nick.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Approval of additional grant services for Karner Blue Consulting, that'd be you.
Okay, so this is a request for additional grant services for Karner Blue, which is our grants consultant. I'm asking for an amount not to exceed $5,000. Basically, what's happened is, as part of the Ready Grant process, we've been made aware by IEDC that they're asking us to modify, it's positive, they're asking us to modify our application so that we can secure grant funds for this area, for the overall downtown area. But it's going to require us to submit essentially an additional application beyond what we already submitted in order to get this particular amount of money. It's necessary for us to continue working with Tina Rogers from Karner Blue Consulting to take care of that application for us. So as I said before, we're already at the 5,000 that you already approved for this year. With the work we've done so far on this with IEDC, there's an additional need for her consulting services to get it's essentially to secure $5 million of grant funding that's available to us to do this. And so I think it's money well spent to spend a few $1,000s to secure $5 million. But we've had consultations with IEDC about this, and there's a substantial likelihood that we'll get this grant. This is at their direction and suggestion that we modify our current grant application to add this other application to it, just because of the way that the program is structured.
Was there something missed the first time?
Nope, this is a new opportunity. So this is essentially what this is. It has to do with the site that we applied for before, but looking at doing it, using a different or a different program than we had previously. So, no, nothing was missed. It's just what they're requiring of us to be able to get this funding. So,
5,000 for 5 million.
yeah.
I'll make a motion for approval of additional grant services for Karner Blue Consulting not to exceed $5,000.
Have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. Other business, we have none. Damon,
Like to make a motion to adjourn?
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second?
Second. All in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0. We are adjourned. Thank you.